Here's some mystery lore that you may or may not encounter in Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. This mission only becomes available after you either choose to side with Reed or Songbird as part of the Phantom Liberty DLC. You'll get a gig from Mr. Hands called Roads to Redemption. Mr. Hands puts V in touch with Nele Springer. Nele Springer is a member of the Crimson Harvest terrorist faction, and she wants out. She does not want to be part of this anymore. So she also lets V know that the Crimson Harvest has a net nuke pointed at Biotechnica's headquarters, and she wants V to stop. Nele gives V the code to break into their weapons factory. So he goes in, he deactivates the bomb, and Nele comes to pick him up. As V is leaving and he's in the elevator and he's going to their meeting point, Nele texts him and says that she feels like she's being followed. Here's where things get interesting. Obviously, Nele is still in the terrorist faction. So Biotechnica doesn't know that she's actually trying to help.
You take care of it?
Disarmed. We're in the clear.
Quick, hand me the shard. Gotta make tracks. What the? Shit, the car's hacked! What's going on?
Oh my god.
Got nothing to do with this.
Nele Springer, you're under arrest for organizing last year's bombing of a Biotechnica lab in Paris.
No. This isn't happening.
Your bomb killed 32 innocent people.
Get now why you didn't want the corporate leash. Because they would have strung you up with it.
I swear on my life, V, I had no idea civilians would die.
Step out of the vehicle, hands in the air.
Not giving myself up. Stay here. 4 against 1, huh? Bring it.
So there ends up being 4 Biotechnica agents that were waiting for them at this meeting point. The agents tell V that Nele is responsible for the deaths of 32 civilians in a previous bombing operation. So now V has to either decide to hand Nele over or to fight them off. If you hand Nele over, she gets arrested and V gets less money and you won't get the next interaction. However, if you stay with Nele and you end up fighting off the 4 agents, allowing Nele to leave, first, you'll get more money from Mr. Hands and you'll get the next interaction. Now the side job, one way or another, will become available within a few in-game days. V gets a message from Nele asking him to meet her in Dogtown near this shipping container. Everything seems a little fishy now because the area that V is supposed to meet Nele in is a hostile area. So V is going around trying to find out where exactly he's supposed to go. And there's 2 shipping containers in the back of this lot. One of them is completely closed. So he opens it. And at that moment, there's a massive explosion. So as V opens the shipping container, a flashbang goes off. He's thrown back and a group of mercenaries come and attack him. So obviously this is a setup. Once V is able to take down these mercenaries, he's able to go to their bodies and find out more information on who exactly they are via the data shards. Via the data shards with archive conversations, you reveal that the names of these mercenaries are Linda Sherman, Miriam Levy, and Gabe Fuller. Via the conversations, it looks like they all recruited each other, but Linda appears to be the one who was first aware of this setup. So now if we go back to Road to Redemption, you may have uncovered an archived conversation from a Biotechnica agent. And this is where Linda Sherman first comes into play. She had reported on Nele's movements, and after she met with V, she was watching them, right? And she explains that she saw Nele's accomplice, who was V, and believes that V is also tied to the Crimson Harvest, which we all know is not true. First, Nele wanted to leave, and V has nothing to do with the terrorist organization. So this is where Linda was still able to hack into Nele's contacts and numbers and all of her information even after she was able to escape. And so she contacts Miriam Levy. She says, are you interested in V? Contact them and set up a meet. They need to think that it's from Nele, obviously, so he will respond and go to this meeting point. Miriam's like, I don't know, don't waste my time. This is not a mission for a mercenary. And then Linda says, I wasn't finished. At the meet, you take V out, no questions, no witnesses. And Miriam's like, who's V? And she said, no questions. So in these conversations, it seems like Linda's the only one who knows who V is, but she doesn't actually know who he is. So Miriam is convinced, and then this is where she contacts Gabe Fuller. And she says, putting together a crew for a little corpo gig. Gotta make a person disappear. No witnesses, no questions. If it's a little gig, why do you need a whole crew? I have said no questions. You in or not? He said depends. On what? For what? Corpo rats. For Biotechnica. She says for BT, meaning Biotechnica. And then he says, okay, sounds great, but I don't do merc work for Militech. Conscientious objection. So they're all on like Biotechnica's side, and that's why they all kind of loop into this. Now, there's another conversation between Linda and a Biotechnica employee that reveals that the original mission was to arrest V and Nele, not necessarily take him out. But clearly Linda thought he had more to offer. So at some point, between V meeting Nele and Linda attacking V directly, someone decided that they wanted V dead. Of course, it's possible that Biotechnica got all this intel and they needed it off of Nele's phone, and so then it's just like, let's just take out the other guy. Let's put this all to rest. Don't leave any loose ends. Now, these mercs are, they're Afterlife mercs. They're not necessarily affiliated with anyone, but this could be Biotechnica, trying to tie up loose ends, or Linda maybe acting as a lone wolf. But for some reason, they wanted V dead. So maybe they were trying to make an example out of him, out of being part of the Crimson Harvest, which they believe. But of course, they got these mercs, meaning Linda, involved because if the money's right, they're gonna, side with anyone. However, so it seems like someone at Biotechnica had it out for V, and they used Linda to get his information and to take him down. However, obviously, V doesn't die here, he takes them down. So now Biotechnica, there's some mystery person there who still has it out for V, but we don't know what's gonna happen now. So to wrap it all up, Mr. Hands gives V Nele Springer's number to help her get rid of the nuke that's aimed at Biotechnica and to help her escape. So the fact that V does help her escape and takes down Biotechnica agents still makes out a hit for him. However, he doesn't know that Linda was able to watch this all occur. She's able to get Nele's information and get paid off by Biotechnica by giving it to them. But then she also becomes the organizer of the hit on V, and she recruits Miriam Levy, and then Miriam Levy recruits Gabe Fuller. So now they think they have this whole setup in place. However, no one realized that V was so powerful and these guys just went on to like a suicide mission. So V takes them down, but there's still this mysterious person in Biotechnica who wanted V to disappear. We never find out who this is or any more to the storyline. Maybe there will be more DLC that will continue on with these missions, but we also never hear anything else about Nele Springer. She never contacts V herself, although can you ever trust the text? But we don't actually ever talk to her again. We don't hear from her, the real Nele Springer. There's something there. It could just be that Linda was money hungry, and she was selling Nele's information to Biotechnica. They wanted it. They realized that she was also with V, and they thought V was part of the terrorist organization as well, even though they both actually were helping Biotechnica in the process. A tangled web of trust, betrayal, and corporate schemes. It's wild, and it's just all part of the Night City lore. So if you picked up any other clues or you have any theories, leave them down below. Like, comment, and I'll see you guys back here next week.